I love when baby boomers are like, well, just save your money. What money? What money do you want me to save?
This bottle of water and this pack of Swedish fish, I wouldn't have been able to buy with a $5 bill.
Everything is so expensive right now, and I don't understand how people aren't talking about it.
Why does everything in this country come with a fucking fee?
23-year-old in the USA, we've gone through multiple stages of things that we were like, no way, this is real.
Americans everywhere are struggling. And people like to make it seem like it's just you. People try to make it seem like you're lazy. You just need to pull yourself up by the bootstraps and stop overspending money. But as we're going to see in today's video, it's plenty of Americans that make plenty of money with no kids and double their household income. And they're still struggling. They still can't afford the basic necessities. They're still going without things like insurance and gas. And they're still determining whether or not they should eat and buy groceries or they should pay their phone bill and have cell phone service. Plenty of people are determining between what two things they need, and millions of Americans are starting to think that we are in a recession.
23-year-old in the USA, we've gone through multiple stages of things that we were like, no way, this is real. First of all, I didn't even have a phone until I was in 8th grade, I believe, and that's like a flip phone. So I had the childhood of someone who didn't have like access to the internet yet, but we literally had COVID, world shutdown. We had the 2008 recession, or at least I did, and I mean, that didn't affect me, but it affected families still, and might have affected your family. And on top of that, now we have like AI and weird political beliefs, and everybody's arguing, and while it may seem like that, at the same time, we're just growing older, and every generation has gone through things, and so I just want to like think about all the positive things you've also come through, all the opportunities that have come with technology, all the ways you can speak your voice now, all the ways that you can make it known that you can advocate for others, I think is really important. We're the next generation, so might as well make it count and not get too lost.
Oh, and by the way, let's talk about what actually happens when you just move somewhere cheaper. I just finished recording a video about this, and it feels like it's kind of becoming the Gen Z version of cut the lattes and the avocado toast. Like, I don't know who's eating avocado toast these days. I've had it maybe twice in the last like 5 years, but it's become this super easy answer to let people avoid doing actual math. The like just move is the same thing, right? It sounds like a good solution to housing unaffordability until you like run the actual equation. So let's run it. Because let's say you grew up in a high cost of living area and you moved back there out of college. You got family nearby, parents, in-laws, whatever. And you're thinking about starting a family in the next few years. Right now, having that local support is worth something. Babysitting, emergency pickups, whatever, a weekend here and there, just so you can breathe. That's not nothing. And if you take the just move away so you can buy a house advice and you move somewhere cheaper, now you have to pay for childcare. And full-time childcare in the United States averages somewhere around $15,000 a year on the low end. And in some places it's like $25,000, $30,000. And that's per kid. Okay, so you saved $400 a month on your mortgage, but you added $2,000 a month in childcare. So you're not ahead. You might actually be behind. And that's before we talk about the salary cut, because again, high-paying jobs are in high cost of living areas. That's the trade. So you moved somewhere cheaper, you took a pay cut, and you added a massive new expense with childcare. Where's the savings? Genuinely asking the Just Move crowd. Because Just Move only works on paper when you ignore half the variables. You didn't save money, you just moved the new expense to somewhere else. But hey, at least now you own a home in Akron, Ohio, surrounded by a bunch of people you don't know.
I love when baby boomers are like, well, just save your money. What money? What money do you want me to save is my question. What money do you think I have? When I wake up, it goes cha-ching with a bill. 40% of what I earn goes to bills in some capacity. That leaves 60%. 10% is just breathing. I think when I wake up and start breathing, I lose 10% of my income. Then there's walking out the door. Now we add the gas to go buy the food. Then let me not forget the 14,000 beauty products I need to buy as a woman, the hair color, the nail color, the eyebrows. Now the return gas home. Save your money. What money do you think I have to save? Should I put it in the stocks that keep failing? Where should I put it, baby boomer, you? Guide me. It's not through 7 miles of snow.
We are in a depression right now, but the only reason it's not called that is because the wealthy people are wealthier than they've ever been. It's not a depression for the rich people. The rich people are doing great. During the Great Depression, the average cost of a home was about $4,900, which today is equivalent to about $90,000. It was around 3 times the average person's wages. Today, in 2026, The average cost of a home is around $410K, which is about 8 times the average person's wages. This is not accidental. This is not just inflation. This is deliberate overpricing by wealthy people so that they could get extra profit into their pocket. And you know what? That's working really well for them, because back in 1985, I think there were only about 9 billionaires in the US, and now there are over 1,000. And we're even on track to have our first trillionaire. Can you imagine such an unfathomable amount of wealth? The thing is, you can't. Just how unimaginable is that? Let's put it this way. If you counted one number per second, it would take you about 31 years to count to a billion if you were counting nonstop. To count to a trillion, it would take you 31,000 years. Meanwhile, the average American makes $66K a year. 1 in 4 Americans are living paycheck to paycheck, and it costs about $159K a year to live comfortably. Believe me, we are in a depression, but it's not called that because we don't control the narrative.
Yo, if you were ever curious about the state of the economy, here's your reminder for today. This bottle of water and this pack of Swedish fish, I wouldn't have been able to buy with the $5 bill. I repeat, I would not have been able to buy this water and this pack of Swedish fish with a $5 bill. And for those of you who may be wondering or saying, that's not too bad. When I was 8, 9, maybe 10, I'm 29, I would be able to go into the store with a $5 bill and get a beef, bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich on a sub roll, 2 bags of chips, a pack of Swedish fish, and 2 sodas for $5. Y'all be safe though.
Only in America do you have to pay a fee to pay a bill. Only in America do you try to go to work while you're sick because you can't afford to miss a shift. Only in America do you avoid going to the doctor because you have to pay a deductible, even with insurance. Only in America do you have to choose between filling your tank and buying groceries. Only in America does your rent go up while your paycheck stays exactly the same. Only in America and nowhere else.
Of life in America, or just the Western world in general, has been getting lower and lower and lower each year. And the brutal truth is, it will keep getting lower and lower and lower. You can look at it however you want to look at it, and there's a million things that will show you. Homelessness will show you. The value loss of the dollar, that will show you. Our health system this year, millions of Americans are paying triple, quadruple for the health insurance they had last year, and they still have like an $8,000 deductible. Our health crisis, whatever you want to look at, will tell you the quality of life in America is tremendously decreasing year after year, because no matter who you vote for, red or blue, left or right, it don't matter. Unless you're a billionaire that is funding their elections, putting money in their pockets, they don't care about you. At the end of the day, they still all go to the same dinner, the same meetings, shake hands in private behind closed doors. Their kids play outside with each other in the same neighborhoods, and you think they care about you.
Everything is so expensive right now, and I don't understand how people aren't talking about it. We don't make enough money. Collectively, we do not make enough money. The price of things are not keeping up with how much we're getting paid. And it's infuriating to me for people to say that people just need to work harder. People need to get different specialized degrees. People need to start their own businesses. That's not the answer. The answer is that billionaires are hoarding wealth. And this system is set up to fail. And I'm just infuriated by it. I can't get ahead. Every month I try to get ahead and I can't get ahead. And I don't know how to cope with that. I don't know how to cope with that. Everything is so expensive, especially in the last 6 months. I can barely get by. So I don't know how I'm supposed to retain hope. Am I supposed to get a doctorate so that I can afford a studio apartment? Is that where we're getting to at this point? I don't know what the answer is to this, but it's so f***ing bad. And I just wanted to get on here and tell you, if you are experiencing the same thing, you're so not alone. everything is so expensive and it's infuriating to me.
Why does everything in this country come with a fucking fee? Like, bro, I just went to renew my license this morning. $33. $33 for a piece of plastic that I already had just because I turned 30 a couple months ago. Like, damn, I didn't even have $33 to spare, but if I don't pay it, I can't legally drive to even make money. Every time we take one step forward, there's another toll booth waiting. I mean, you can't exist in this country without paying a cover charge. You want to drive? Pay. You want to live somewhere? Pay. You want to stay alive? Pay. And they sound like it's normal. Like it's just $30, they say. Yeah, 30 here, 60 there, 100 for registration, 1,000 for insurance. And by the time you breathe, you're broke again. It's not even about the money anymore. It's the principle of it. You can work, pay taxes, follow the rules, and still get treated like you owe somebody something. Like no matter how hard you try, you're always one overdue bill away from losing it. Meanwhile, the people at the top don't even pay for shit. They write the rules, then skip the line, while the rest of us get stuck footing the bill for their lifestyle. We're not living in a system anymore. We're maintaining theirs. But hey, as long as they get their cut, right? Guess that's what freedom costs now.
Well, people are complaining that the prices in grocery stores have gone up, and our president is saying that prices went down. I'm a nerd, okay? Call me a nerd. I have receipts from June 2024 right through today. So we're going to go grocery shopping and we're going to do some price comparison, and I'm going to show you how more expensive your groceries really are. I live in Howell, New Jersey, which is a suburban neighborhood. You know, not anything fancy. I'm in ShopRite. I'm not at Trader Joe's. I'm not at Whole Foods. I'm at ShopRite. We buy the same thing every single week, okay? Let's go shopping. Coffee is one of the biggest I've seen increases. Okay, now here on my receipt, we buy 8 o'clock coffee. I circled it because I used it one other time. Sorry for the blurriness. $9.99. You see that? $9.99. See it now? $17.99. In less than a year. Less than a year. $17.99. $9.99. So it is doubled in price. Coffee is insane. And this is not even a fancy brand like Starbucks or Dunkin' Donuts. Let's keep going. All right, I just met a lady here at the meat department who said, horrible, horrible. She can't believe the prices. Chopped meat, $17.90, $17.46 for 3 pounds of chopped meat. Are you out of your freaking mind? This little package of chopped meat, which is 93% lean, is $7 for that little piece. That could make 2 hamburgers. You're kidding me, right? Let's just take for shits and giggles, let's go over to a roast beef. $11 for $22. I'm speechless. Here's a beef around $19. Wowza, wowza, wowza. First of all, this ShopRite is a very, very, very busy ShopRite. Our shelves are not full. Our shelves are not full because we are not buying American beef anymore. Do not buy American beef. Do not buy American beef. This is absolutely awful. A London broil, they're on sale this week. Top London broils are on sale for $5.19. You used to get a London broil on sale for like $2 on sale. Look at this, $23. Oh my God. A London broil, where's the ones that are on sale? They don't even have any on sale. They have these flat things here. You want to do some beef kebabs with vegetables or some stir fry? Are you ready? $20.13 for that. You gotta be, who can live? Okay, we're not big cereal eaters, but a box of cereal, $6.29. Life cereal, $6.29. Raisin Bran, $6.49. I remember getting these for like $3 when I ate cereal. Holy moly. Okay, here you could see Schneider's thin pretzels, $3.99. My husband loves to have some pretzels, so we get some pretzels. They don't have out any of their thin pretzels, but you can see all of them Schneider's pretzels are $4.79 now. $4.79. Almost $1 increase from 1 year from now. Okay, so Mr. Orange Man, when you tell me prices are down, you're out of your mind.
So what happens if nobody can afford anything? If prices keep going up like they have in the past 5 years, what happens in 5 more years if they keep going up at the same rate? I've seen so many stories from around the world of housing has doubled in this city, or electric bills have tripled in this city. At what point can nobody afford anything? I honestly feel like we're already there. So many more countries are dealing with homeless crises. You hear more and more about cities just becoming absolutely unaffordable. All while there's less and less jobs. Applying for jobs takes years at this point, and if there are any jobs left, they're being taken by robots. So what's going to happen? Seriously, we have to be on the verge of something, right? I mean, it cannot trend this way forever. I just went to the grocery store and bought 4 things and it cost me $25. A single cabbage cost me $14 in Florida in the United States of America. It was a fairly large cabbage that made a lot of kimchi, but nonetheless, one vegetable should not be costing $14. I've completely stopped eating meat. I'm a vegetarian now because I can't afford meat. It's just also exhausting. I don't have the answers, and I'm hoping maybe you do. Or what do you think's going to happen? Because at this rate, I think nobody's going to have anything in a very short time. And I find that very scary.
2026 is only going to get way harder. We're all thinking that 2026 is going to become better. I mean, even we heard news about banning private corporations from buying up houses, so home prices will supposedly go down. And all I can say is that's not enough. That's not enough. And all the old people are going to say it sounds selfish, but think about what our generation has been through compared to as the little stuff we had given to us compared to what other generations had given to them. We have to work 10 times harder to have a quarter of what our grandparents had. And we're supposed to be happy with just the fact that home prices might go down. Maybe. They might. Maybe. That's not enough. What about grocery prices? What about insurance costs? What about healthcare costs? What about car costs? Car insurance? What about gas? What about all that other stuff? What about clothes? What about everything else you need to survive? Medicine? What about everything besides the house? Because the house might go down, but if everything else keeps going up, it doesn't matter. People still won't be able to afford to buy the house because they'll be paying $2,000 a month on insurance with a $10,000 deductible. $200 car insurance. Come on. I have a 2007 Honda Civic, so don't sit here and get in my comment section, well, you just want to buy a nice car. I have a 2007 Honda Civic. Buddy, since you know everything, people like to accuse you of wanting a whole bunch of nice stuff. Like I said, 2007, a 19-year-old car. Don't sit here and try to tell me, oh, you just want all the nice stuff. Americans are struggling. People are making excuses to make it seem like it's our fault. And as soon as we prove them wrong, that's when a disconnection happens. Instead of trying to listen to each other, come to a conclusion, and fix the issues to make all parties happy.
Hey, what's up, America? I'm going to be real with you here because I see no future for people in America. After seeing the high cost of homes nationwide, the high cost of gas, the high cost of food, the high cost of rent, cars, rental cars, used cars, insurance, healthcare, taxes, and every other thing, how is anybody in this country supposed to prosper that's not already wealthy? Could someone tell me that? The pulling yourself up by your bootstraps argument is and over. It doesn't work now. You have average home prices of $512,000. Grocery prices are almost 100% more since 4 years ago. Same with rent, same with mortgages, same with used cars, same with new cars. Taxes are slightly lower, and I do mean slightly. Wages are slightly up, but no way in hell will that meet the requirements. I just saw a story about a nurse with a $75,000 salary a year and an 808 credit score denied for getting a home. Zero student loan debt too. So debtless, making 75 grand a year with an over 800 credit score, not good enough for a house. So what are we doing here? What's the end goal? Starvation? Death? What's going on here? No matter what you do, no matter how you spend the finances, the middle class and the poor have no upward mobility. There is no hope now. None. No hope. None. Zero. The next 2 or 3 generations are because you allowed so much greed. Younger generations will never have shit because of your greed. I've already broken my back trying to make ends meet working for the last 30 years. I already know I'm not going to get anything from the rich. I don't give a but the younger generations, if you keep stealing and being greedy, they're going to all be homeless. And then what do you have? Ruling over a bunch of homeless people? You.
Trigger warning, I'm gonna crash out right now, and this is gonna be a long video, but I feel like you could relate to this, so here we go. It's great living in America, unless you're a fucking American. If you're a bank though, you are thriving, while the rest of us are just trying to fucking survive. I just came across a video saying that banks are at an all-time high. Like, their expectations have blown through the roof of what their profit margins were gonna be. You wanna know why? They are thriving because America is starving to live. At least 95% of Americans right now are literally surviving off credit cards, off loans in general. And banks are eating that shit up over the high interest rates. We're fighting for our lives over here. You want to know what the American dream is like? Let me tell you. Every day I wake up hoping today is the last day on earth. I'm tired of it here. The American household, on average, is $80,000 in debt. And that's just credit cards and like auto loans. Maybe even some student loans thrown in there. But that's not even including your mortgage. That's just credit card debt. And right now, banks are eating that interest rate up while we're all surviving. You mean to tell me that the average American goes to their mind-sucking job, works 8 to 12 hours to have everything deducted, have nothing left to live on, and we're forced to put food on the table by using credit cards? Okay, picture this, right? You go to college, you get yourself in hundreds of thousands of student loan debt. You are one of the 5% of college graduates to get your job in the field you got your degree in, right? You get everything garnished from your wages because the increase on living and everything around you has gone up, but your pay has stayed the same. But then you also get taxes taken out. We get taxed just to breathe, people. We get taxed on owning shit. We get taxed on working. We get taxed on just living. Okay? Then you got health insurance. That's a joke and a whole video within itself. But basically, the average American pays anywhere between $300 and $1,000 a month for health insurance. Basically, you're paying just to say, I have health insurance. But then when you go to use health insurance, you have co-pays and deductibles, and they don't cover nothing until you've met your deductible. What do you mean?
If you're a young person and you can't afford to live here, then maybe you should not live here. I mean, that is a real thing. Yeah, I know that we've now grown up in a society that says that you deserve to live where you grew up. But the reality is that the history of America is almost literally the opposite of that. The history of America is you go to a place where there is opportunity. And if the opportunities are limited here and they're not changing, then you really should try to think about other places where you have better opportunities.
I'm here to tell you right now, we don't care.
Let me tell you,
we don't care.
Ben Shapiro has the most punchable face of anyone I think I've ever seen on the internet. But to make the assertion that if you can't afford to live where you're from in America as a young person, you should move is literally ridiculous. Housing costs have increased by 290% in America in the last 30 years. That is not okay. And you know how much salaries have increased roughly in that same time period? 30%. So how can someone afford a house that is overpriced when their salaries haven't increased, Ben? But you know what's been up in this country? Productivity. Because you know why? America is a capitalist cog that abuses and takes advantage of our worker bee society and culture that says work, 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 work. You'll find the American dream, when all that was doing was benefiting corporations. So now we have a whole generation of people, starting with my generation, which are millennials and younger, who are realizing, oh shit, I can't really afford to live where I want to live. Let's take me for an example. I'm from New York, and for me to buy something in New York, I would need to quadruple my income. And when I'm buying something, I'm not buying the brownstone that I want. I'm not buying the apartment that I want. I'm buying a one-bedroom apartment for $1.2 million. So yes, Ben, you tell me how we should just pick up and move. Because where am I moving to? Missouri? You make no fucking sense. People like this who are born with privilege, always have had privilege, and think others people's problems aren't real, is the problem with people having podcast mics. Because the majority of the country, Ben, cannot afford to live where they're from. Kick rocks, loser.
So let me do the math here. If you make $25 an hour and you're working a full-time job, 40 hours a week, that means you're making $1,000 a week times 4 weeks out of the month brings you to $4,000 a month. You take that $4,000 and you times it by 12 months a year. That makes it $48,000 a year. Take a third of that off for federal and state income taxes. A third off. So let's say 48. Let's take off, I don't know, we'll bring it down to 35, okay? $35,000 a year. That, you break that down into 12 months, that's about $3,000, let's say, a month that you're clearing. Your rent is $2,000, your car payment or your lease payment is $500, your insurance is another couple hundred, your mobile phone, your renter's insurance, every single expense. God forbid you get sick and have to pay a deductible. How in the fuck is somebody supposed to live on $25 an hour? And if you were making $30 an hour, that would be $1,200 a month times, 12 months out of the year. You do the math, it's still...
Breaking news, U.S. core PPI data came in at 3.3%, surpassing expectations of 2.9%. This means price pressures will be rising. Businesses are paying more to produce goods, and that cost will eventually hit us. This also puts rate cuts at risk, and this produces volatility across all assets, including crypto and stocks. More info down below.